So the topic of discussion today is if I was to start all over again my whole fitness journey, what would I do differently? So I'm just gonna talk about it, break it down, nothing too formal, nothing too extra, just talking through my whole process and what I would have done differently. So I started working out probably around 13 years old. I started going to the gym properly. Um, Before that, I'll just do press ups at home, sit ups, incline press ups, all that stuff. Because I didn't like how my body looked. Didn't like that I had small arms. I'd always been naturally athletic, so I'd always been like naturally strong, naturally fast. Um, but I was always naturally small. So it's quite a big difference from when I was there to now. I'm now 6'3" and sit around 83, 84 kilograms. So I used to sit a bit higher, I used to sit about 85, 86, and I changed my diet in the last year. And now my maintenance is a lot lower, and I'll get into why that all is. So, when it came to when I first started training in the gym, it's a bit of a bro split to be fair. I started going with a good friend of mine, Theo. Went to a pure gym and just basically just hit. I never ever hit back. I don't know. I didn't enjoy back there, so I never hit back. So I think I literally hit chest and arms pretty much every single session, or it'd be like triceps one day, biceps the next day, chest, like individual. I pretty much hit the same exercises every single time I went to the gym, which was every day at that point. While the days I had football training on, even then I still trained. I still went to the gym as well. Anyway, so it kind of just there was no structure at all. So maybe implementing a structure for maybe a bit more functional strength. I wanted to put on muscle, so it worked. It definitely worked for what I wanted. And at the end of the day, now I'm very happy with the physique I have now, and I wouldn't want to be bigger than I am. So maybe the progression I did when I was younger was fine. There's a lot of stories about how lifting weights can stunt your growth. It did the opposite to mine. We'll get into other factors as well later down the line, but based on the pure training, I was training for strength, and that's pretty much it. So that definitely worked from when I started to 6 months down the line. My muscular strength would have doubled, tripled. I know my obviously technique as well. My bench press went from 30 kilograms on the first day to 75 kilograms. I think within 6 months. So I was, because I know when I was 16, I was benching 100 kilos for 2 reps, and then I haven't benched much since that. To be fair, because my training has differed massively. This all depends on what your goals are, really. So if your goals are just pure aesthetic strength, I don't think anyone should train for that. Just those. You need functional strength. You need real life strength. These are things that you actually need in your real life, day to day, that will help your family. You need to be able to sprint. You need to be able to run, and you need to be athletic. So that's how my training is now split up. My now training is injury prevention. So I'm lifting some days I'm lifting very heavy as I can to from 3 to 5 reps. That's my injury prevention, and obviously that's muscular strength as well. So I very rarely do that upper bodies. That's for my lower legs, injury prevention. Upper bodies, I'm doing a lot of body weight exercises. So that's my pull ups, press ups, muscle ups. Then I am doing some controlled movements as well, so all cable machines for shoulders, and not doing much chest these days. Doing some back, but I don't want to tighten my back up, so I keep that. I keep that normal, pretty standard, And yeah, so I'm probably in the gym as of right now because the football season is now starting and we're in pre-season. Not very often, to be fair. I'm massively focused on improving my technical ability in my football. So every day is a session, a football session, and then I'll either hit maybe legs twice a week and uppers probably twice a week as well. So maybe once a week, at the moment, to be fair. But I am swimming. This is very important. This is what something that's gone into my weekly program, which I think everyone should have. You need to be able to swim. The benefits from swimming are they go on and on and on. But for me, it's mobility first and foremost. Ankle mobility prevents all your legs from tightening up. Your calf muscles, your tibialis anterior, your soleus, your gastrocnemius, they all get tightened up when your ankle stiffens up. So keeping that mobile is very, very important. Taking pressure off the knee, and also the endurance and aerobic training as well that you get from swimming is very, very beneficial. So I'm definitely trying to improve that. I mean, I used to 6 months ago I was able to swim 100 laps no problem. Now I'm struggling. 30 is a struggle at the moment. Non-stop front crawl. So I mean, the pace is still there, the speed is still there, but it's more difficult. Definitely more difficult for me aerobically. But it is pre-season. I've been away, not doing too much for a while. So definitely implement the swimming into your routine. That's number one thing I would have done from back then. Because I had two big injuries in my teenage years. I pulled my hamstring. No, sorry, I tore my hamstring nearly completely. That was a grade 2, and it was about 85-90% tear. So I was very close to a grade 3, but that was a grade 2, and I dislocated my knee as well. So that was also not a great injury. I was out for about 5 months for both of those. They're around the same time period, to be fair. Around the same time period. So I didn't pick up any big injuries the last 2 seasons. Thank God. Touch wood. And yeah, I think a lot of that is due to my preparation and my training, which is adapted around the injury prevention. I think depending on your age, your training should differ. I think if you're getting older, you need to focus on definitely functional strength training. You need to be lifting heavy weights as well as you get older. Not too heavy because you don't want to get injured. It'd be the biggest, worst thing that you can get is an injury at that age, because your progress will be massively knocked. And if you're in your late 50s, you'll never get back up to where you were before if you picked up a big injury. And you need to have some sort of aerobic exercise. Everyone says, oh, cardio. You need cardio. It's part of the basic human body. The body needs cardio. You need to be running. If you're younger, I'd recommend running. If you're older, don't shag your knees up. You don't need to do that. I would definitely recommend cycling. I know a lot of people, 40s, 50s, 60s, who are cyclists. My dad is one of those. I would definitely recommend cycling. Swimming, of course. I think they should be paired, cycling and swimming. What else can you do? I think if you enjoy playing sports, so if you're playing football, you just play football for as long as you can into your 50s. As long as you're doing your injury prevention, you'll be fine. Like I said, you don't want to pick up an injury at that age. And yeah, that's basically what I'll do. So based on the training, the training's pretty simple. I basically explained that already. One source of aerobic training, strength training, functional strength training, and mobility and injury prevention. That's all you need in your training program. Those are the most important things. And you worry about your load, then you just do less. For me, I fit in as much as I can into my daily routine. So that's why I have to do the injury prevention and the mobility training, because for me, I will just get injured. It's happened before in the past, and it may happen again. I do certainly hope not, but it may happen again. Also, if you can, yoga, Pilates, I definitely recommend once a week, twice a week maximum. You don't need to do more than that. There's no other benefits bar a tad of functional strength in Pilates and mobility in both of those. So people do lots of those, way too many. There's no more benefits than doing 2 sessions a week. They're more resets to your body than anything else. So that's what I would say. Okay, now let's move on to the diet. So with diet, my diet is probably the biggest thing that's changed in my whole program lifestyle in the recent years. So when I was younger, you kind of eat what you want, go out a lot, you eat what you want, and you don't gain any weight, you just gain muscle. Not the case for everybody, definitely the case for me. In recent years, I've been taking a lot more serious. So some of the substitutions have changed. For example, I only drink raw milk now. So raw milk's one of those. I try and avoid plastics as much as I can. So with the milk, all in glass bottles. I'm trying to think of other things. Like my bottle I use is completely metal. If you can have a copper bottle, even better. Just try and avoid anything in plastics, really. Just avoid them. Have glass containers. The microplastic thing is really that's not even recent years. That's recent months that I've clocked onto that, really. Yeah, I think if there's 2 things I still want to change, I don't make my own bread all the time. I'd like to make fresh bread every single week for all my meals. That you have bread in, of course. Meats, I don't ever really have processed meats ever now. I'm trying to think of any time that I would. I can't think of any. So butcher food, get your meats from the butcher, 100%, way better quality, and the price is not as different as people think it is. It's very, very similar, actually. And I viewed diet differently. So I basically said protein every single meal, a carb source, and there will always naturally be a source of fats, probably. If there's not, and you're on a carb, then perfect. Like if you have just chicken and rice, perfect. You need to be looking at your. People say check your calories and check your macronutrients, but for me, your macronutrients will just come when you have the protein and you have a good carb source. You'll get the carbs you need, and you'll get the protein that you need, and you'll also get the fat that you need. People think that you won't. You 100% will. If you eat fresh organic food, I promise you, you will be full, and you'll eat what your body needs to eat. If you're fat, your body will eat less, I promise you. And if you need to eat more, then you will be able to eat more. So that's one of the biggest changes I've made, my diet. And my focus now, like I said, the protein sources. I have chicken, less beef, to be fair. I don't eat as much beef as I do chicken, but I do have it more now. Some lamb every now and again, for sure. You can add turkey. Turkey is great for you. What else would I add? I don't eat a lot of pork at all. Not at all. Have the odd bacon with the family. And that's basically it with the diet. So I would just keeping it simple. Nutrition is simple at the end of the day. That's what I would mainly say. Nutrition is massively simple. So keep it that way. Keep the basics going. Don't overcomplicate your food. You don't need to. Snacks, I only recommend fruit, or just have a full meal. If you're hungry, have a full meal. Your body is telling you to eat, have a full meal. Oh, but it's 2 hours till dinner. I don't care. Eat again later. If your body's hungry, eat. But eat real foods. Don't eat garbage. Don't go into the cupboard. Don't have chocolate. Don't have crisps. Don't have all that shit. That's not going to benefit you at all. Okay, and this is probably the next most important thing. Sleep. I would argue the most important thing. I was lucky, to be honest. I was very lucky because when I was in school, during my big growing phases when I hit puberty the most, I was in lockdown. So I was able to sleep a lot more than other people would be able to. Saying you can't get 8 hours of sleep when you have school's a lie. It's definitely a lie. But I was going to bed every night at 11 o'clock and I was waking up at 8, 9, it's even 10 some days. And that's helped me grow. It helped me grow a lot. I do think that it definitely helped me grow. That's how I reached 6'3". My family, no one in my family is above 6 foot. And I've gone far past that. So grandparents, great grandparents, none of them were 6 foot or over. So I've definitely smashed past that, and a lot of it is down to the lockdown. I think being able to sleep that long, being able to eat more food because you're at home, had a massive benefit on my physical stature. So prioritizing the sleep is an essential to building muscle, to growing, and repairing as well, of course. So you need to be getting minimum 7 hours. Anything less than 7 hours, you are actually, I promise you now, yes, you are actually killing your body. And as drastic and extreme as that sounds, you are. You are lowering your life expectancy by quite a bit. Your body will be damaged, and it will be damaged and damaged and damaged. If you're getting 6 hours sleep every single night, it will be damaged, and that is simply the truth. So I feel it now as I'm yawning. So no, you need to be getting enough sleep. And apart from that, those are the changes that I made. I think good sleep, good diet, and yes, guys, when it comes to dieting and you want to eat your favorite foods, people say in moderation. You can have moderation, yes, but you can't be feeding yourself absolute shit. You need to know what you're having. So, for example, I do go to a chicken and chip shop with my friends, and not massively often, but we do go. But we know everything that's in it. I know the oils that the chips are cooked in. I know that where the chicken's from. I know that the chicken's grilled. I know there's no seed oils in there. So for me, I'm happy. And there's no shit, okay, maybe by more higher calories, but there's no shit in it. And that's what's more important. So, yes, moderation is fine when you're not eating the garbage. If you're eating McDonald's and calling it moderation, absolutely not. Make a homemade burger. Like, I made a video on it, so if you want to see the video, it's on my page on homemade McDonald's. Yes, like I said in the video, doesn't mean it's massively healthy, but it is healthier. It is that little bit healthier, and you know exactly what's in it. That's what's more important. You know what you're putting into your body. Everything that's in the supermarket, you don't know. You don't know. That's the truth. You have no idea. And I would also say get as much stuff from the farm as you possibly can. Definitely. So I get my milk, my eggs, my honey. You can also get potatoes from the farm. And what else can you get? Yeah, they're the main things anyway. That's all you really need from the farm. So for me, that's what I would do differently. I basically said everything. So I'm pretty happy with how I did things. I could have done things a lot quicker if I knew what I knew now. I'm happy with my overall journey. I certainly am. Will I still make changes? 100%, and I will let you guys know those changes. But if you follow those tips, then no doubtably you'll get the dream physique, the dream body, the dream performance that you want. And that's the truth. And if you do want more details and you want an actual structured training program and a structured meal program with one-to-one coaching, then please click the top link in the description, because I do have a community full of people that I help, and I also do offer one-to-one coaching if this is something you are interested in. So please send me a DM on either the other social platforms or join the community, and I will speak to you on there. So that is this part of the sector of the video done. And yeah, I hope you guys are enlightened and educated.